Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the perfect vehicle for springtime here in East Texas. This is the 2019 Camaro SS 1LE. Yeah, that's the track package. This one was a 1 year only front end, and as long as you don't look at it too closely, I guess it's all right. Or here. That's better. All right, popping the hood of this glorious, glorious car, you get Chevrolet's 6.2 liter LT1. This one has been modified by the previous owner, but from the factory, this made 455 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque. And because it's a 1LE track package, it is under this glorious satin black hood wrap, mated to a 6-speed manual transmission only. Yeah, save the manuals. As we take a step back and look at the front end of this, I mentioned during the intro, this was a 1 year only face, and to me, as a lifelong Camaro fan, I wanted to like this so much, but apparently I'm not the only one who didn't, because this only lasted for the 2019 model year. Chevrolet did an emergency refresh and used a body color front bumper here from lower trims for all Camaros that followed hereafter. Again, going back to the fact that this is the 1LE track package, what you get in addition to this hood wrap is you get aero bits up front here. You do get these side curtains, which come on an SS as well, but help get air out and around the front of this vehicle. You get magnetic ride suspension as standard on this. You get Brembo brakes. You get better summer-only tires on these large 20-inch aggressive black wheels. And you get black wrapped mirror caps. And moving all the way back there to the back, you do get that black aggressive rear wing, which actually does add tons of rear downforce. This shock color, I alluded to it being the best vehicle for springtime here in East Texas. It hides the pollen quite well. I believe if you don't wash your vehicle, it just naturally turns this color, but oh my goodness, I love loud colors. I love this car. The problem with it is you kind of stand out. It is the least conspicuous vehicle I've ever tested here on this channel, and the same is true when you fire it up. So I'm going to hop around, jump inside, and fire up this 6.2 liter V8. All right, climbing into this, I believe it's very easy to see why sales are struggling on this generation Camaro. This actually rides on the same platform as the Cadillac ATS, and that was a well-praised, solid platform. And this vehicle actually is 70% unique to the Camaro, and unfortunately, most of that comes down to bad interior packaging, because while the ATS was a compact sports sedan from Cadillac that was a little tight, it was nowhere near as tight as this car is. When you are in this car, you are in it. And as someone who owned the 5th generation prior to this, this is significantly smaller and tighter here inside. The windshield is tiny. The roof is low. The windows are barely even there. And don't even get me started out the view out the back. Ironically though, Chevy did think about the view out the back with that large rear wing, because the center section actually has a clear cutout so that I can see what little bit out that rear view window or rear window that I do have. Other interior packaging quirks, This center console is beyond tiny. Like, I could get maybe a juice box there in the middle. Couple cup holders taking the place of what should be a manual handbrake, because I thoroughly dislike this electronic parking brake. No, just why, Chevy? Why? What I do like is this being a 1LE, you get a proper 6-speed manual, and it is so good and so crisp and so short throw all the way through. I absolutely love driving this car. Other fun interior things, you get a carbon fiber look dash here that I do believe was added after the fact, because it is very clearly a decal up here, but definitely gives you a race feeling inside. The vents here are actually how you control the temperature and fan speed by turning these here. A feature that has transcended into the Blazer SUV, and very simple, easy to use climate controls here. An odd downward facing infotainment screen here, but all of that does not really matter. What really matters is the sound that this engine makes, because it is so good. Being a 1LE, this got a dual mode sport exhaust, but I already mentioned the previous owner did modify this one. It's got a Lopi cam and a definite upgrade to that exhaust. But let's shut the doors and take this thing out on the road. So, perhaps my least conspicuous car to review on this channel to date, in both that gorgeous shock paint job on the outside, and then the slight modifications done to this particular one with the cams and the exhaust. Woo! Squirrely! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I didn't expect that. I'm supposed to be talking to the camera right now. I'm totally sorry. So, wow. What I'm driving is the 6th generation of Chevy's pony car, and as I mentioned earlier, yeah, I did own a 5th generation example. SS, different motor, different platform, same similar overall look, but my goodness, this one's just a little bit more visceral than mine. So with this one being a 1LE, some of the things that came from the factory are this fantastic short throw 6-speed shifter and transmission. This being a 2019 example, the suede that was here is, well, a little worn down now, but still there. And yeah, so I've seen people saying let's stop sueding all the things, and I would have to agree at this point, but that's not why I'm driving this car. I am driving this car because as a gearhead, I owe everything to the Chevy Camaro. If it weren't for the Camaro, I wouldn't be a gearhead. I fell in love with the 4th gen when I was 9 years old and started reading everything I could about them, and have been a fan since. So the Camaro always holds a special place in my heart. Older me snagged one up for a 25th birthday present to myself. I got a 45th anniversary SS with 6-speed manual, and I loved it. Unfortunately, being young, I may have made some bad choices, and I only had that one for a year, but loved it all along the way. And this 6th gen has taken things up a notch. So shrank a little bit. This now rides on the Alpha platform, which was the underpinnings for the very well-loved Cadillac ATS sports sedan and coupe. And with the LT1 under the hood of this thing, these proved to be a lot of fun. In fact, 70% of the components of this vehicle were unique to this vehicle. So Chevy was going completely against its platform sharing ways of the past and actually invested some serious money into this vehicle. So 2022 should have been a milestone year celebrated with something special for this car, and yet there was nothing, which I believe signifies that the rumors are true that perhaps this Camaro's going away and leaving us, which is sad because I'm in second gear now. And this thing can pull in any gear. And yeah, this thing is so good. Unfortunately, I'm stuck behind some slower vehicles today on the back roads of East Texas. And let's see here. Oh my goodness. This thing can go so fast in such a low gear. Yeah, it can get you in a lot of trouble very quickly. This one, if it were stock, the LT1 under the hood made 455 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque, which makes it very simple for remembering for just anyone. 455, 455, you don't really see square numbers like that too much. But what really makes this 1LE so special, I already mentioned the 6-speed manual. This also gets standard magnetic ride suspension, which can be dialed in. I'm just in simple tour mode right now, which is rather comfortable, but this little rocker switch here can switch it to sport, track, or snow ice, which I can only imagine really limits your throttle response. But being that I'm on back roads in what is a rather loud, visually and audibly loud vehicle, I don't want to call too much attention to myself and ruin my fun this afternoon just yet. Just the visceral sound from that cammed V8 under the hood and the tuned exhaust out back. The 1LE also did get a dual mode exhaust, but I do believe this one's been tweaked even more since. It carves corners so well and just does so with ease. I mentioned earlier just how deceptively quick this car is. If it weren't so loud, I could see myself doing triple digits if not paying attention whatsoever, and that's a little bit dangerous in a car that shouts its presence so much. Talking about things in here, it's cramped. I'm not gonna lie, as someone who owned a 5th gen for a year and lived with one day in and day out, this is even smaller. This is really tight. I can see, yes, the complaints were legitimized because it is very tight in here. Visibility is not great. This little window back behind me on my side might as well not even be there. As far as daily livability of this one, because it is a 1LE and we have all that extra aero, driving around is a little tough in this one because I'm scared I'm gonna drag the front on it on just casual bumps here around East Texas. So much so that I've had to pick and choose how I drive and where I drive in this one. So it's not the most practical on the road. That doesn't stop me from wanting this one oh so badly. If you're looking for a practical car, this isn't it. Between its abysmal trunk space, ridiculous rear seat, tight, cramped interior quarters, limited visibility, I could go on and on and on, and most people already have with the limitations of this vehicle. But what does not make any sense whatsoever is just how good this car is when you think about how many detractors it really has. This car should be selling like hotcakes to people like me because it is unbelievably fun and so good on the track. The bones of this car just scream to be taken out on a curvy back road or to the track. And perhaps to its detriment, because as focused as Chevrolet and General Motors were in making this the fun car that it is, it's really suffered as a daily. And with that, perhaps I had to say goodbye to my beloved Camaro.